Can you record, Henry?
Yeah, I think it's recording right now.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Yay. This is very fascinating. We're in 2020 clear vision. So great. Thank you, everyone. Let's take a breath together as we come together for our Mentoring Stewards Community Coherence Call. And really the first one of 2020. And so I'm just going to invite John to open with just a little bit of resonance, because obviously it's being called for whatever reasons that I can't record, I can't do anything, and the universe is giving me larger instructions. So yeah, so John, would you just do a little resonance and then we'll come into where we're going today.
Sure. Oh, all right, everyone. Let's take a nice deep breath and just begin to relax the body. Another breath, allowing every cell to be bathed in the radiance of the resonant field, showering equally over all of us, over everything. Just allowing the body to relax and receive that radiance. Beginning to open our hearts to the wisdom that's available. Each one of us and every being on the planet sharing equally in the brilliance of the one source. Finding that place inside from our deepest heart, knowing that we've been given the opportunity to reflect back to the whole all the love that is being offered to us. Feeling that, experiencing that give and take with gratitude to share this brilliance from your heart to the heart of all for the good of the whole. And another deep breath, and allow us to share in our circle with each other. Ho.
Thank you. Beautiful. Welcome, June.
Thanks.
Welcome, everyone. So from that place of really living our deepest soul purpose and coming here, let's see, John, can you put yourself on mute? I can't. Oh, you are mute. Okay, great. Thanks. So from this place, again, of just feeling this resonance with the whole of our internal being in relationship to how we're coming forth as a community, as a living expression of living for the good of the whole, as an expression of being in the deepest, most orgasmic relationship with the global heart. And I'm in the understanding that there is no separation of any of it. And this morning when, just a few minutes ago, prior to this call, just really coming into that understanding, there is no reason, there's nothing worth leaving this space. Nothing. And how do we as a community come together, fostering that which we are here to individually bring forth through our individual design in relationship to that whole? And so as we're joining in this coherence, as we're building this coherent field in 2020, this opportunity to really come forth with a clear vision, a tangible way to bring our expressions forth, really dancing this expression of joy. So today, really, that feels like it's the portal in. And we've come from being involved with the 7 days of rest, really focusing on radiant diversity and that embracement of whole system healing, of whole system health. And that's really where we're going to take off and leap from that expression and experience for the next couple of weeks. And focusing on living these codes for the earth, and how does that influence and affect how we do what we do? And how can we as mentoring stewards actually begin the applicable process of mentoring each other into that highest expression? So that's where we're going for the next couple of weeks. And I want to just give you a little lead into why I'm saying that. So Julie and I've been speaking, and Julie's going to take off the next 3 weeks, at least the next 3 weeks, to really ground the structure and form of good of the whole, so that we can bring our individual gifts into that larger expression of the evolutionary core. What is the evolutionary core, and how do we participate and play and engage in this leadership expression, this mentorship expression? So that's that piece. And with that, then the advisory council came together yesterday. It's hard to believe it was yesterday. And our focus in amongst that is we're going to actually take off for the next 3 weeks to foster, really work here in the Mentoring Steward program, and to allow the Pachamama Pajamas and the Ohana Legacy Foundations, which are definitely the two most, how should I say this? The two, I don't want to say projects because that doesn't feel right, but what it is those are the two offerings that are being, as a leg of the stool of good of the whole, that are really being offered to good of the whole to bring forth. And how do we want to do that? So Linda's taking that time, and Glenn is taking that time working with his collective. And yes, thank you, Linda. Templates for it's a template, yeah. So we're building the template for good of the whole to be able to offer those expressions as one part of the three-legged stool that we've spoken about. So taking a breath with that, where does that leave us as the mentoring stewards and this community coherence? And what became very clear is, at least to me, and you can look at that for yourself, is that we want to be really focusing here as the grounding elements, really the pillars. You guys are the pillars for good of the whole in a particular way. So that's where we're going. And we want everyone to have a voice here. And so it felt really important, Shelley Ostroff and those of us that participated in the 7 days of rest, in order to build our alliance with, United Earth and Unify and Sign and all these, to really ground here what it is that we feel that we want to take forward. So, and we're invited to really cultivate this expressions of whole system living, whole system healing. So today I wanted to begin with, I'm not going to read the entire preamble, and I'll send that out in the declaration, but I want to, I took some specific pieces of it so that we can open our call today to each one of you to bring forth what's moving in you. So the other thing I want to just say is, first of all, thank you for bearing with the technological difficulties. My computer on Sunday just completely decided that it could take no more, whatever that means for my life. And I have to get down and figure out what's going on. Obviously, I couldn't even record today, so that was something new. So for the next couple of weeks, we will we'll use the heart resonance for our coherence call. And for right now, Henry, I'll talk to Henry, and maybe Henry, you could record the calls, and hopefully I can resolve this issue with my computer in the next couple of days, I hope. So is everyone good with that? Anyone have any questions? Let's open it up. Anyone have any issues? Anyone have anything that they want to bring forward? We're all good? Okay. So I think that was my nervousness, that I feel this, I don't know about you, but I feel this sense of excitement. I can feel it as in my womb, in that place of the waters, the living waters, the wisdom wants to come forth, the wisdom wants to birth itself. So I'm going to just read part of the preamble and our focus for today, and then we're going to open the call to everybody. So just the beginning of the preamble is, the urgent and complex global challenges we face will not be resolved from within the same systems that we created them, and we know that. Today, people of all cultures and ages are rising up around the world to demand a fundamental transformation of how we organize ourselves as a species. And we, as citizens of the earth, affirm that a worldwide adoption of the principles outlined in the codes, and if you haven't read that, I will send it out, but all you got to do is codes.earth and go check it out, has the capacity to solve multiple crises simultaneously and create a culture of peace with all life. To ensure an optimal integration of our global abundance, we align with the principles of life and evolving human consciousness. In the light of this recognition, we, as mentoring stewards of good of the whole, are uniting around a whole system healing framework to realize our shared needs and aspirations for a healthy earth. And so our focus obviously is uniting in love, and that we're coming together as one humanity across national, cultural, and ideological boundaries to restore the well-being of all life on earth. And that's why we're coming here, while we've been called here, while you've been called here. And really for us to thrive as a humanity and cultivate the health and vitality for all inhabitants, for humanity to thrive. So, so today, what's moving inside of my awareness is that we're focusing on whole system healing and stewardship of the earth, being mentors. So in relationship to that, let's just open today, and if you can, speak, 2 to 3 minutes so that we can hear from everybody, and begin to open the field with, so what is moving in you in regards to your, let's just say, your soul design, your passion, and tangibly making something available to others, because we are whole beings in service to the whole. What's moving in you? And what is that one, and I'm going to be writing it down as well as we have it on the recording. What is that one, if you thought of one step that you would like support with, or that you're feeling, wow, I'm right here, I'm standing, I feel ready, yet I don't know what's that one part of the bridge that you're bridging for yourself that you want to voice and you would like support with from us as a community. And then I'll go into an idea that I have in terms of co-mentoring each other and just beginning to build this bridge together. So trust what you're feeling, even if it doesn't go quite exactly with what I'm asking. But what's moving in you in regards to living for the good of the whole, in alignment with the codes for healthy earth, and just beginning to explore this relationship and this expression. So I'll leave it at that, and excited to hear from each one of you. And just feel to jump in as you're feeling that impulse. And thank you. I'm complete, and I have to figure out how to shut myself off on my phone. So just jump in.
Okay, lovely people. It's my Aries nature to jump, so I'm going to jump in. I'm really excited about today. And I think the fact that Shelley was having a little technical problems and couldn't record, it's just this reminder that we only have this moment. We have to, don't worry about recording something for later on. It's only this moment that we have. And so I can't say too long on the call because I am hosting 6 people today that I only know 2 of them. And we're going to sit around the kitchen table and talk about Northwest Indiana and taking action for climate change, and what can we do as a community. How do we start talking to our town councils and representatives? And it really seems like it's starting small, but it's starting around my kitchen table. So I just don't know what kind of support I need for that. I feel like the universe is throwing a lot of threads into my head. I'm a thread head. And my responsibility is to take them and allow them to weave together between the concern for the climate, the concern for what's happening on our earth with seem totally out of our control, with volcanoes and earthquakes and fires and things that are really affecting people, and the children. There's just everything. There's so much going on, and I feel like I would be very frustrated if I can't start taking some sort of sacred activism. So part of this, and as Shelley would know, we know about Pachamama Alliance, and it's such a great teaching tool, and I brought this to someone who's organizing this whole Northwest Indiana thing. So we're helping each other, and I think it's important for us as co-mentoring stewards for good of the whole to realize it's not just this little tapestry on our Zoom call, but that you reach out to the people in your community, that you keep co-mentoring, because I'm learning so much just from being here, but it's not enough to just be on a call. It's reaching out, and I know each one of us do that, but I think if we hear from each other what we're doing and what's happening, how it's unfolding, it can inspire us to really live for the good of the whole. So I just wanted to drop that in there. I don't know what's going to unfold today. There's no agenda. This is the first time that we're meeting, so we're gonna get into the heart resonance together, whether they want to or not. That's the way I'm going to open the meeting. And so we can carry forward what's happening with good of the whole to the next little circle. And that may spread out. There's a huge gathering workshop. It's called Climate Action Blitz that's going to be in February. So this could be the start of that, and also introducing Pachamama pajamas in there when it's appropriate somehow. So it's finding people, it's connecting with people, and it's just opening our hearts to what can help us all. I'm complete. Thank you.
I'm going to just jump in here because I want to just feed this into the continuation of what people are sharing. So what I'm hearing as being an expression of good of the whole, that number one, a question came up, oh, Pachamama Alliance, that should be part of our programming, our education for good of the whole. Oh, yes, the inspiration to bring this locally. And then I thought of, oh, I should connect Linda with this person, Sharon Joy, who's been doing it for years in Tampa Bay. So these are the pieces that I want to invite everyone to listen to. Or maybe you feel like, oh, I want to connect with Linda this week because I have an idea for her. Again, I love that, the weaving of the thread. So as you're thinking about what your personal piece is, then consider what's being brought in. The organism itself is inviting us to begin to engage locally outside of this call, and then feed it back into the system. That is really what this organism is all about. So I just want to jump in and say that, and just I'm putting myself on mute. Thank you.
Well, it's Kate in South Dakota. I guess I could pick up the talking feather now and kind of expand on that. I've done some local work here through our co-op, and I worked with a gal called the Organic Salad Basket back in 2006. As you also know, I meet with these grandmothers. Well, one of the grandmothers, A1, has had this vision of a golden sanctuary, and this opportunity arose down in New Mexico, and some land was gifted. Hence why I just went down to visit beautiful Oriana down in Tucson. I wanted to go down and explore this land in New Mexico. And anyway, when I looked at the possibilities of how we might expound on her golden sanctuary vision, I wasn't feeling it. Just wasn't, when I initially saw the property that was available, it was kind of a long story. It gets to that place in Iowa where we all have our own unique story that brings us to this moment. But all there is this moment. Anyway, that did not pan out. However, and it's just a fun story of how the Synchronicity Express has brought me back together with this gal that we met at the co-op years ago, and are going to now embrace we're going to orchid farm on the big island of Hawaii. So I feel like maybe I can work with Glenn and the Ohana Alliance somehow and expand on that when I'm over in that area. The kids have already worked over there and run businesses. They're just really self-reliant people. Got to spend time with their children yesterday, and it was just confirmation to me. At first, I was thinking I would be helping them out, but yesterday I just saw the tables turn and go, wow, this vibrant young family is going to teach me so much, So gonna need, hey, if you ever want a place and come and work, we don't know what we're going to grow. What happened is the volcano went off, the fog took out the orchids. 73-year-old man says, I'm too old to start the orchid thing again, but I'm willing to, help you and teach you and establish you and whatever. So these really regulated greenhouses, don't know what I'll be growing. Going to try the orchids, see if that pans out and go from there. But, just needing y'all on this energetic support level that we have going that seems to be an experiment in all these unique, diverse people coming together for something larger beyond their own. And I look forward to see where that goes. And if I can help you with your projects, that's what's going on with me. I thank you for listening. I feel whole, and I'll return the talking feather.
Well, so far this is absolutely beautiful. It kind of is very inspiring. Kate, Linda, Shelley, so far. I was on the call with Glenn yesterday around his project that he's trying to get going through Good of the Whole. And Kate, it sounds exactly that outreach and opening through the resonant field, allowing that information to come in. For me, in particular, I guess that is the whole thing, that no matter what the project is, Pachamama Pajamas, the legacy, the opening of whatever, I came into Good of the Whole because of my being a therapist for 25 years, and then being a minister for a couple of years, and then being a contractor for a few years. What I'm seeing is that whatever the endeavor is, people at the core of their hearts, once they get to their heart space, really are operating for the good of the whole, whether they know it or not. What I want to do with Good of the Whole is to really develop the process of bringing the resonant field to all walks of life, to all occupations, to all groups that have ideas, these incredible ideas like everyone here has, to offer those, knowing that when we come together in resonance, the information flows from the field, and to start linking that in a very clear way, that no one's operating separately, no one's operating for their own benefit, and what we're really doing is operating for the benefit of the whole. And so as this the documents that we're creating and offering to groups, so for me, I just want to hold that space as much as I can, and everything that everyone's saying, such magnificent processes to offer a remodeling of every endeavor for the good of the whole. That's all I really want to do. So I want to expand my consciousness and awareness of operating within the resonant field, and then share whatever I can with anyone that is wanting to start a new project or develop their existing project or whatever, and do that through Good of the Whole, by sharing with each other in the resonant field. So it's rather undefined, and that's okay for me right now. It doesn't have to be defined, but it's certainly, I feel that we are the hub of a great wheel with many spokes. The more spokes possible, the stronger the hub. And so we can offer that information, that love that's coming through, and have that be the core of whatever endeavor that anyone wants to take on. So I'm clear and complete.
I would like to take that thread. Thank you, John. Isn't that true that when we operate truly from this space of our hearts, everything is flowing for the good of the whole? I always have this conversation with me. It's like that which and everything us has arises from is smart enough to know where it goes. I only need to be, according to my own heart, get access here and be in alignment with that. And the rest will happen. So I am with you, what you said, John, and I feel everything else is like, I don't know what to call it. If people would operate, would access their own heart and operate from that place, it's like it's effortless. There is not much to do. There is a dance to do together and just celebrate the magnificence of each other. So for that, what you said, I'm inviting you, John, come and join me tomorrow evening. Because that's exactly my intention, creating these local events to invite people to come and have a deeper understanding and relationship with what is happening with their own heart. And what I need, you ask, Shel, what I need for that is others who vibrates in the same frequency to hold the bank of the river, but not in a rigid way, in a very flexible and playful way, that for me, what it works, I can drop into that place of magic, I would call it. And I would say, that is what we can do for one another. I would say this is the co-mentoring for me now. Because we are at the frequency levels, we are kind of, we all have the mental understanding. We have all the words. We have become the master of the words. But because of that vibration and because of that knowing, we can create a space that each one of us can go to that experience that we are talking about. So what is mine is, I would say just everything is the deeper relationship with the whole that I am. That would be the whole system healing. I mean, I have worked for 20 years for Center for Drug, for Health and Healing. And then I realized that's not it. It has to come from the source. And we keep talking, the heart is the access, is the source, to the universe, to the wholeness. So let's create a space for that direct experience while we have each other in this moment. Who knows what happens tomorrow? Thank you.
Here, I'd like to pick up that talking stick. And I can resonate with what you said, Naheed, and everyone else, John, and everyone. And just for me, what's bubbling up is there was a shift in the breath work I was teaching, and I got downloaded a new way of doing it that Naheed was talking about. How do you get to the source? And so it's called open heart breath. And it's about opening heart to this field, or the releasing what no longer serves you. So that is what I feel like I'm being called to bring out this year, as well as continuing the Global Heart Team vision of standing in love for all of humanity and Mother Earth, and the loving journey, which I hope to co-create and bring in some way into the good of the whole. And not last but least, writing a book with Michelle Pollard on the Global Heart Rising. So busy plate, but loving it. I love my life. I feel like I'm working with everyone in a spiritual level on this this co-creative space, this energy field. And so I feel supported, but looking forward to more interconnections, more of the weaving. So thank you. I'm complete.
Good morning, everyone. It's been wonderful hearing where everyone is at this moment in time, and each piece is opening a place in me that I have been working with. Just as Grace was just talking about opening up and letting go, clearing out, is what I have been working on with myself and with my clients and my family. And that is I've been looking at my heart, looking at my spiritual committee, and seeing what I needed to let go of, because there's been so many years of packing in new experiences and spiritual helpers and work that I've done. And it's like I needed to sit and clear out what isn't really necessary today to do what I need to do and to be who I want to be. And so it's been sort of just looking at all these experiences and letting go of what isn't going to help me in the moment, but instead is going to spread out my energy and take me places that keep me from being really spot on about what I want to do. And so I was asking myself, what are those 5 members that I would like to have in my spiritual community, and what were the things that they would carry and help me sit with? The first was love. The second was compassion. The third was passion. The fourth was the balancing of body, mind, and spirit. And the fifth was to to stay completely in the present moment. And so I've been working with how to balance those 5 and how to see where anything is keeping me from being in those places. And as I'm working on that, I notice that as I'm working with my clients or those around me, there's a different response to what I have to say or to what I'm doing with them, because I'm coming from a clarity. I'm coming from a place of wholeness, because it's not broken up into 100 pieces. It's more solid and clear, and comes completely from this 5 ingredients that I've decided right now. I really want to work from. I want to give from, receive from, and so right now, for me, the work is to see the joy of that place, to feel the incredible energy that comes from working with those 5 things, and to see how I can be of service from those places in a very in the moment way. So what I could ask help for is just holding me in that place, helping me to ground so strongly in that place that none of the old comes up to question anything. None of the old comes up and say, well, don't forget me. I'm here right now in this place, and asking to be held there, and asking to be sovereign, to be sure that from this place, there's so much good that can be done, and so much love that can be shared. And so I thank you all. I'm complete and pass the stick on.
I I said hallelujah too. This is what I am longing for between us. What you said, the letting go, for me is emptying oneself from all that we have learned and we know, and we meet each other in that place. Then from this place, there is something that we can bring to others. Otherwise, I would say we are still operating from the old paradigm, and we bringing the spirituality, the good for the whole or something inside of that paradigm. I wouldn't say this is why we have met. There is another place of meeting. I desire that deeply to experience with you all. Thank you for allowing me to express myself.
So still inviting Henry and Karen and I believe Oriana to jump in.
I would love to share, but I have a reason for wanting to be the last. So if Henry or Karen would like to jump in first before we complete, otherwise I'll wait until the very end.
Yes. Opening to potential and possibilities within each of us individually, and also the collective, or perhaps the social potential that Barbara Marx Hubbard spoke about. There is, I guess from some of my learning with Dom and her, they speak about our inner senses as well as our outer senses. And one explanation that really resonated for me was that one of the inner senses is desire, or sense of desire. And what that is, or the underlying desire, is to express our full potential. So the underlying longing that we have, that I feel in myself, or the fuller potential within all of us, and the larger circle of good of the whole, and people interconnected. And as John was expressing about the spokes of a wheel, so as we become better spokespeople for what we know, what we have been cultivating inside, or in our individually, and through the resonance and through cultivating connection with the field. So for me is to open to as many applications of the field and of heart resonance, wherever it may. What are its applications for children? what are its applications that John expressed many months ago of with clients of becoming the field and opening, connecting with resonance as the first step to open those deeper places. So anyway, so that, I think that's what I would like to share at this time. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I've been hesitating because I'm not really clear at this moment yet. What I can say is being a part of these calls and the Monday call with people who are able to tap into that field, into that place, into that resonance, into that heart space, has been a blessing and a help for me. At this point in where I am sitting right now, there's not a lot I can do in my local area. My local area is virtual. All of you, groups like this. I love what you had to say, Nahid, and what everyone had to say too. And it's a wonderful help and reminder to help keep me grounded. I pretty much live from following directions all day, every day from Source. And I was given a vision and a mission, and I've been working on this for the better part of 20 years. Doesn't seem like it could be that long. Very seriously for at least 15. As more information comes through. And as the information comes through, some of these ideas and sharings have given me, has helped the field bring through bits and pieces of information that I didn't have yet. And so I'm very grateful for that. Within this group, however, I still feel like I am on the fringe. Most of you have been together for a fairly long time and are connected much more than I feel like, I'm the new kid on the block and it's very hard to break in. I would really love to get to know more of you more. And I would like to be able to see how a lifetime of wearing many hats and studying many things and building many connections, how my thread can weave into all of what you are bringing forth and how I can be of service and help to all of you. And I know I've offered a few times, but I don't hear back. So it would be lovely if I could be of more service. That's all I can think of right now. Thank you.
Oriana, before you start, can I jump in real quickly? What really came to me is that, everybody on this page here is, as I said before, I was a therapist, I was a minister, I was a contractor. These are all forms of employment. So now I'm saying to myself, because people ask all the time, well, what do you do? Well, my employment now with Good of the Whole is bringing my gifts, talents to employ myself for this amazing, wonderful new process of the resonant field. So now I'm beginning to look at, okay, if I'm an employee of Good of the Whole, allow myself to start opening to what that employment is. And I want all of us, and Karen, you said it just beautifully now. Well, I have 20 years experience. I kind of know, but what's my employment right now? And if we help each other really do that, we are going to expand the capacity of Good of the Whole. How am I employed? Not in the old terms of, but I think the money will come too when we really define this more. But how do I employ myself and come under the employment of Good of the Whole? So I just thought I'd throw that out as maybe a piece for us to contemplate. Thanks.
John, perhaps we should shift that from employee to enjoyee. I'm an enjoyee of Good of the Whole.
I love that. I love that. And here's how I enjoy it.
I would say that
So,
we all are.
wait, I want to actually jump in here.
And from there, we are serving everything.
Okay, I'm going to just jump in because I'm watching the time, and maybe we'll make an agreement to go longer, even next week, because I think this is really churning up some powerful stuff. So I just want to let Oriana have a chance to speak, and myself before we close. So yeah, so thank you. And I can feel this moving, and I'll speak more about my end as soon as Oriana finishes.
So this weekend was a portal opening, and it began with January 10, the lunar eclipse, onto the full moon of Saturday, and a specific alignment, stellar alignment and planetary alignment on the 12th. And this weekend, or this past week, I've had two of my evolutionary empath group, one from Winnipeg, one from Wisconsin, come to visit. And we serendipitously went up to Sedona over the weekend. And I was last there with Nahid. We had a lovely 4 days in Sedona together, just about last fall. And this time, during that alignment, that opening, we were in Sedona, staying that night, and I did a transmission that we recorded. And it was so extraordinary in that last year when I was with Nahid, and she was instrumental in really holding me in this field as I entered the gap. And the gap I called the gap between our ability to feel and our ability to heal. The gap that is that non-existent space. And I entered it not knowing if I could fully come through and hold it. But this transmission was, in fact, coming into a level of being the non-existent life that originates life, and holding that energetic point and allowing it to enter deeper into that earth that is feeling the influx of energy and bringing it in deeper still. And as we did that, the next morning, we went to the Grand Canyon. And as I was standing on the peak point of overlooking the canyon, this woman arrives next to me who is clearly from Australia, from her accent, and her friends had put a bag over her head to do a great reveal. So at the moment she's standing just at that peak point, they pull up the bag and reveal the Grand Canyon to her. And her words were, "Wow, it's really big." And in that, I could feel the capacity of this holding a greater energy that was coming in and coming all the way through from Sedona, Arizona to Australia, and feeling this, holding it, receiving it in the way of all of the prayers that had gone out to the world for world peace were being received in this greater, deeper capacity. The next morning, we're back in Sedona, and I was drawn to this one antique shop, and in this room of Kachina dolls. And the Kachina are, I don't know if you can see if you can get an example of Kachina dolls and the legends of the dolls, but I was drawn into it. And in that moment, there was a council above me that asked to transmit the energy to all these Kachina dolls. There was, I don't know, 200-300 of these dolls that in the gift store part of it that were going out to the world, and this energy that came through was the blessing from and through the Kachinas to take this web of life out into all corners of the world where they would be woven into a greater web of life, and all of the earth environment and earthlings and humans particularly invited back into the web of life, and the web of life connecting with the universal web of life, so that all of that energy coming through went into the blessing of all these dolls that would be purchased and returned to all corners of the world. Travelers, it's Sedona is an international gathering point. And the Kachinas themselves hold a particular energetic alignment from this greater spiritual realm. They come into, as the tradition goes, into teaching the earth children of the better way of being. And it's one story that the shop owner was telling of the Kachinas, that the Hopi Indians were nomads and had to move with the water. So they're very attuned to the living water. All of the Kachina dolls are made from the cottonwood root, which seeks the water. And the water is what is coming alive in this universal life force and the flow of the web of life within it that we feel as the field. And the Kachina coming in are teaching us, and the story of this tribe that had to load up and carry everything on their backs to move to a new location. You had to be able to carry your own weight. But there were two, one was blind, one was lame. They were unable to move with the tribe, and they were left behind. And so the tribe moved on. But these two came together and said, oh, wait, but you can walk, and if you carry me, I can see. And so they were making their way to follow the tribe when this great ogre appeared in flash of light that was about to stop them, but the flash of light restored the eyes of the blind and the legs of the lame, and they walked to be able to regain the tribe, but with this new sense of cooperation and collaboration. And that's the message of the Kachina that goes out now to the world, the way that we rejoin our universal tribe, that web of life that is greater in its sense of being that field that's drawing us forth. And as Nahid was saying, we have to empty ourselves in order to receive this higher knowing, the higher appreciation, and be able to bring it in and send it out to the world. So this transmission on Saturday was at the January 1/11 at 11:11 p.m. Mountain Time. So all in Boulder were aligned with it as well. And it was a global meditation that occurred, that this opening that aligned us with the universal web of life. And this is the strengthening of the 2020 envisioning as well. So as the Kachina dolls are going out around the world, I invite you to be that Kachina that is the cooperation and collaboration that restores our sight, restores our strength.
Thank you, Oriana. Let's take a big breath with that. And Linda just had to leave, just acknowledging her. Yeah, let's just take a moment, take a breath. I'm really feeling this relationship with what's moving in the field for each one of us as an individual aspect of the collective, not separate from the collective. And as Oriana was expressing this web of life, and I'll close this call with an expression of that through the codes of the earth, codes of a healthy earth. So just continuing to feel the fire in your heart and how it's wanting to become visceral and tangible in both local and virtual. Invite that for all of us. We've all been very virtual, and now inviting us to really bring this expression forward. Before I read that, there's two things I want to mention. So we'll come back here on this Zoom, and I'll send out an email. Hopefully I'll get the email straightened out. There is a new email system that we're working through Nation Builder, and hopefully that will be remedied next week. Make sure everybody gets that email. But come on this number. And just want to share, just in terms of this experience I'm having here in Boulder tonight, Henry and Nahid and John and I are getting together as a opening up that template of creating local events in various ways. Nahid spoke about hers, and each one of us are sharing where that's happening for us, and to be supported in that. As well as we're working on, John and I have been working on pulling all the documents that have ever been shared about heart resonance. And because as I listen to each one of you, everyone's saying the same thing. It begins with this hub, this expression, this enjoyment and joy of experiencing the power in the resonant field and resting in that as a vibrational frequency that connects all of us to our soul design and this really global expression for living for the good of the whole. So thank you. It's been an amazing call. I also want to say next week we will go 75 minutes. I'm just going to put it out there. 1 hour is not long enough, and I don't like cutting people off, so I appreciate, don't take it personally. It's just trying to hold that, and then we'll decide whether we want to go an hour and a half, because something is really brewing now. The organism itself is calling us in. So we'll just take a look at that gently, not feeling that we have to, but at least next week go 15 extra minutes, because I think there needs to be that space. So also, just quickly, have this list. Please, please, right now, the baseline for being a mentoring steward and engaging and real is $15 a month, which is barely enough to sustain good of the whole. And we are looking at fundraising. More than looking at it, we are going to make it happen. But if you're not giving $15 a month, or there's a problem, there has been problems with Nation Builder, please contact me and let's get it straightened out this week, so that everybody, and if you're offering more than that, thank you so much. There have been some beautiful donations since December, and we're so grateful, and it's so meaningful, and we're really looking at how to use that financial sustainability. And also, if you don't know, we were given a grant and through the Polad Foundation, and we just want you to, and it's a powerful, and we're really looking at how we can use that to benefit this organism and organization. So thank you so much if you're involved with that. Hold on, Nahid, 1 minute, okay? So there are many of us that need to upgrade that financial donation, and if you're not giving that financial donation, you must contact me this week to be on this call. And we're really holding to that we that is a part of the replenishment of the whole. So So thank you. And don't take anything personally. We'll work it out. But now I have to engage in helping those people that do have financial issues to have that exchange of energy. So I just wanted to put that on that call for anybody who's listening to the replay. Okay, so let's take a breath, and I'm going to end the call. Nahid, is it really important? Because
Yes, absolutely. This is really important. I've been holding a space for the last 8 years, knowing you are my playmates. I want to play with you, with all of you. And what you said, Shah, becoming Rumi, affairs of the heart, it is not Nahida stuff. It is not. It is not mine. It's the story Oriana was saying. One is blind. One doesn't have the legs. I am holding the space that we somehow realize this is not one person show. We have to merge at much deeper level beyond what we know. This is what I deeply long for. Thank you for allowing.
we'll be speaking about it tonight, Nahid, I'm sure. So thank you, because people do have to go, and we do need to honor that. Yeah. And so I'm just going to end with this last part of the codes for a healthy earth. We, citizens of the earth and mentors of good of the whole, affirm that a worldwide adoption of the principles outlined in these codes has the capacity to solve the multiple crises simultaneously, and that's a very powerful word, simultaneously, to create this culture of peace with all life. The web of life is restored to its natural balance. All humans are receiving precisely what they need to realize their unique potential, mutual enrichment as we live for the good of the whole, and that we are coming together as a humanity to contribute to an ever-evolving harmony and diversity, cultivating the conditions for all life to flourish as we live for the good of the whole. So thank you so much. We'll be here next week. Keep your notes, journal, bring them back and feed back into the system, and we'll honor that. Love you all. Thank you so much.
Love you all.